Hey guys, Anthony here, Big Anthony here. It is Sunday, March 7th, 2021. I'm out today testing out a get home bag, which you see on me here. Okay. So this bag happens to be my wife's bag. It's equipped with what she needs to get home. She's never really that far from home base. So I'm taking it out today, putting it through some paces. I'm going to take a look inside, make sure I don't have to change any food items out, anything that's expired. Make sure the basics are all in there. And how I do that is, the last time I made a video on this bag, I'm back behind a plaza here, and one of the things I wanted to scout around for was the water hookups for the Silcock key. So I wanted to show you guys that those are readily available on buildings. They might be on the front of the plaza. I know they're on the front. There may be some back here, but they are usually in most buildings, schools, banks, fast food restaurants, clothing stores like Ross or TJ Maxx will have them on, and usually need the Silcock key to turn it on. I just did a video not too long ago on that. I showed you how to access the water, and even in the event of a loss of water pressure, you could still get, because of gravity and the hydrostatic pressure of the water, a lot of times you can still get water out of it. Okay, so in the event that you do need water, fresh water, for if you find yourself without water and you need water, that's one way to get it, but you have to have a Silcock key in your kit. Okay, so it's important to have that in your bag. It's $3 or $4. Pick up multiple ones in Home Depot next time you're there and throw them in your glove box, in your bag. The more the better, really, because what happens is when you go to look for one, it's not there, and then you're pretty much out of luck. So trying to see if I could see any from here. Take a walk over to the building, closer to the buildings. What's happening back here is, I guess because of the pandemic, there seems to be people that come here during the day and night and go through these dumpsters. So very often the police are here with their cars parked and what have you, and trying to deter people from dumpster diving, because that's what a lot of people have resorted to recently. I think people always done it. It just wasn't. Now, with all the people unemployed, it seems to be a lot more prevalent. So it's pretty windy today. I don't know if I'm picking up wind on my microphone. Hope not. But definitely a windy day today. Nice and sunny, but windy. So again, getting back to the get home bag, or whatever you want to call it, a survival bag, an emergency bag, call it whatever you want, but you have to have in it what you need, what you think you need to get back home. And there's certain things that most people do need. The first of which is, number one, you need a bag. Number two, you need to put stuff in it. Okay, that goes without saying. And it's got to fit you. It's got to be able to be carried by you. So whatever you put in the bag, like I'm doing today, this is pretty light for me, but for my wife it's not. So she's got to take it and put it through some paces herself. But remember also, you could break down in your vehicle, not have to leave your vehicle, but still use your bag, the gear that's in your bag, to sustain yourself, to make a fire, to make a hot beverage, to keep your body core temperature warmer, to grab something out of a knife, a firearm, let's say, depending on what you have in your bag. So there's scenarios where you're not always having to leave your vehicle and run with your bag and get out of Dodge. A lot of times you may find yourself, try to walk down this little path here. There's a little path down here. I'm gonna take a walk down and see what's down there. A lot of times you find yourself, I see a lot of garbage here. It must be blown around or something from the plaza. It's all over here. So a lot of times what's going to happen is you may have to be stranded in your vehicle with your bag, and you may need items that are in it. So it's important to have the basic gear in your bag, things that you are going to need to sustain yourself. Now what I'm going to do is, in this video, I'll put a link to the last video I did on this bag. That way you can see some of the items that are in it. Now recently I added a brand new Camelback water bladder to this bag. So I have water that's full right now. So I have water readily available to me as I'm walking. Super important in my book, because a lot of people in their bug out bags have water on the side. Now I have a canteen and a canteen cup on the side of this bag, but while I'm walking, I can't reach back there and get that canteen without having to stop, take the bag off. So if I'm on foot and I'm hoofing it and I got to go somewhere and get out of Dodge and maybe hunker down and hide, and then or take a sip of water while I'm walking or running or jogging, whatever I'm doing, it's going to be very difficult to do that without taking the bag off, versus popping this little cap, sucking some water, and while I'm still walking. So in my advice to people is to get some type of bladder, whether it's a Camelback or something similar, put it in the bag, lash it through, have the hose line lashed up here, velcroed in, and fill the bag. You could change the water every 6 months or whatever. As long as it's from the tap, it's going to stay good in your vehicle. And that way you always have fresh water when the bag's on. So, and I have water to drink, which is 3 liters in this particular model of bladder. And then I have another quart canteen full of water on the pack. So I could make a beverage, I could still have water to drink, etc. So water is a key thing, especially when you find yourself on the move, on the run. Some little trails back here I never even looked at before. I did not know this little water reservoir was here. This is a catchment area behind me, if you can see that. Little catchment area for water that I never knew was back here. So this is a little area that one could come down, and if I was hiding right now, I could come down here, and if I needed to filter water, I could filter it. I could take it from this little lake here. So you guys can see that. I could take it from this area right here through this fence, which is open, and get access to it. Get access to water that I could purify. Okay? So that's good to know. So I'm scouting around different areas today, and that's one of them I didn't know about. So getting back to the bag, you want items. Again, in the video I'm going to attach, I discuss items, and I'll show you items that I recommend you have in your bag. You got to think of the basics: water purification or filtration, water we discussed, food depending on how long you think it's going to take to get home. I like to put either an MRE and some bars, some stuff you don't have to cook in the bag. So that's something you want to do. You don't want to have to stop and boil up water, rehydrate something, although you can do that. I find having an MRE in a bag, your bug out kit, along with some other food if you want, But an MRE you could eat cold. You can eat, a protein bar or some type of meal bar on the fly. You could buy those squeezy almond butters or peanut butters. They make like a gel that runners use. So you could use one of those, several of those. They make, you can get in the grocery store, those jerkies. They make now all kinds, ostrich meat, beef, different kinds of turkey jerkies, stuff like that. That'll give you some good protein and some good flavor, and you'll be on your way. And you got your water you could sip on, and you're pretty much good to go. Okay, so this type of bag, you're not gonna be out at least, for weeks at a time. This is to get from point A to point B, maybe a day trip, and get home and take it from there. Show you the area back down here. Okay. So again, on this bag I have right here, just to discuss one item. This is one of those wind-up flashlights. So if you keep a flashlight in your bag in your car, take the batteries out of it, tape them up and put them separately. Don't keep them in the flashlight, because over time with the heat and the cold in your car, they won't work when you go to use them. So I like having at least one wind-up type flashlight that I could wind and get some light if it was nighttime, to see where I was going, to set up a makeshift campsite, to go through my pack and look for something. Another thing is headlamps. I like headlamps because you don't have to, it's hands-free. Put it on your head, you could look through your bag, and you got your hands free. Okay, so think about those items when you're building your bag. Again, I've got tons of videos on my YouTube channel on different types of bags for different types of situations, but the bottom line is a lot of them have the same items in them: fire, making ability, knife, water purification or filtration, food, something to make shelter or an emergency blanket or a tarp. A bigger bag might have a tent. Some bags might have maybe, a pair of underwear, a couple pairs of socks, a t-shirt, because if something gets wet when you're getting home. Big thing I recommend, and I'm going to check this bag to make sure it has it. If it doesn't, I'm going to be adding it, is one of those ponchos you could throw over your head, and it'll cover the bag as well, and you won't get soaking wet if your journey is in wet weather, which more than likely when you go to use something, it's going to be inclement weather. That seems to be the way Murphy's Law works. So I have a couple of sample ponchos I'll do videos on. One of them by Snug Pack. It's a little pricey. When I say pricey, it's under 50 bucks, but I think it's well worth it. It covers the backpack, it covers you, it's got a hood, very well made. Don't skimp on things. Those little 99-cent ones might work for a little while, but they're going to tear and they're not going to keep you as dry as you think. Another one I purchased recently, I'll do a video on it. I think it was like 30 bucks. It's similar to the Snug Pack model, but different brand. But those you can use for a makeshift shelter and also to wear as a poncho, as a rain covering. So cover is important. Making fire, water, having a knife, having a flashlight or a candling device, food, ability to signal, a whistle, something to make noise if you have to, again. And then, based on where you live, the part of the country you're at, and how your terrain is set up, you might want to have or keep an extra pair of boots or hiking shoes in the car, especially if you're a woman. You go to work in an office environment and you have like a dress shoe or a loafer. That's not going to cut it. If you got to run, jump, climb, you're going to lose your feet or your shoes. So keep a pair of, today I have a pair of high top Vans on, sneakers, if you could see them here. okay? But something that laces or with Velcro, something that'll stay stable on your foot. I always look at what my wife is wearing when we go out. I say we're going out, even if it's for like on a weekend, we're going out for dinner or something. We're going to a restaurant and she's got like, it could be summertime, she's got like a, you know, a beautiful shoe on, but it's a slip-on, her feet are exposed. You know, it's nice dressing like that, but if something happens in the place where we're at, if we get attacked or some kind of event happens and we got to up and run, the first thing you're losing is your shoe. You're going to be running with bare feet, and if glass is breaking or shattering, now what? Your feet are going to be all cut up, and you're going to be, you know, you're definitely going to be succumb to, you know, that type of environment. So you want to have a good firm fitting pair of shoes. Another thing is keep a hat in your bug out bag, not only to keep your head warm if it's cold out or even raining or snowing, whatever, but to keep bugs and ticks and stuff out of your hair if you're foraging through an area like behind me here, or maybe you're hiding or something back in these woods in here. There's going to be lots of little critters that might crawl in your hair, and you don't want things. Another thing is I like to keep a pair of sunglasses or clear safety glasses in the bags to protect my eyes. If I am running through something like that, you get hit with a branch or something in your eye, you're screwed. You get your eye hurt, especially in a SHTF situation. Stuff could be flying through the air or in the air, embers, whatever. So think about that when you're building your bag. So the purpose of today's video was, I wanted to get out and test this bag, you know, put it through some paces, make sure the bladder was working, which it is. I tested it out. The water bladder's working. So when I get home, I'm gonna open it up, look at it, go through it. Maybe I'll make another video on that, and we'll talk about what's in it. And I'll also post the videos on it that I have with me building the bag. So again, depending on who it is in your family that's going to be operating out of this bag, you have to keep that in mind. So this one's for my wife. Again, I want to keep it under a certain weight. She has some medical issues, and you know, a heavy bag is not going to do her any good. So something, you know, lightweight or medium weight that she can sustain herself, get herself home, and make it back safely without having to kick herself and say, damn, I wish I had an emergency bag with some water and a flashlight and a knife or a gun or some extra ammo, something, because SHTF really just happened and I need those items. So you don't want to have to need something or hope that you have it. You want to think through and have it in your bag, pack it in your bag, okay? Keep a list. I like to keep a list, and with my situation is I like making videos, not only for people to watch, but for myself. I'll go back and watch a video, and I could see every single item that I put in her bag, and then say, hey, it's time to go through her bag and take a look and change out the food bars or whatever, because I put them in 6 months ago, they're expired, something like that. So videos that you make on YouTube or BitChute or Rumble or whatever you're on are for you too, for you to go back and look and see. They're like a journal, almost like a video journal of what you built and what you have made. So your videos are for you too if you have a channel, and that's how I like to look at my videos. They're for me. Okay, so that's my video for today, guys. Thanks for joining me on this walk, on this little scout. It was very successful. Here is if you could guys see right behind me here, that fire hydrant right there. So what I like to do is know where all these are in my area of operation, because at home I have a fire hydrant wrench, And if I did need water, I can come up here, open that cap, turn on the valve, fill up some water, and go. Shut it off, go back. As long as there's pressure and those things are working, I've got water. Silcock key, another item to have for buildings and businesses that have water. Almost everyone does. When you're going into your next place of business or shopping, take a walk on the outside, walk down as you're walking into the store, look on the walls, on the brick. You'll see little boxes sometimes that'll say Zern or something on it. Sometimes there's not even a box, you just see the valve without the handle, without the twist handle, and that's where your Silcock key goes on that little nut and opens the water. So keep an eye out for those and keep the Silcock key in your bag. I'm going to check and make sure this one has it. If it doesn't, I'll be at Lowe's or somewhere today, or go online and I'll buy a couple more. I do have a couple more in my garage as backup. So I want to make sure that my bags have a Silcock key, because without water, you are basically up a creek without a paddle, guys. So that's my video today. Thanks for joining me, guys. Take care. Stay ready. Big Anthony signing off.